The Aztecs were a mighty civilization in Mesoamerica. They were most known for their architecture, some still around today, their art, and their agriculture. But with such a large civilization, they had a large population, and people required food. So how did they feed all these people? Today, we will explore how the Aztecs fed their mighty civilization. But first, we need some background information. In the 16th century, the Aztec Empire was massive. They controlled 500 small states and 5 to 6 million people. The capital alone had 140,000 people living there. The Aztec economy was based on many different factors. The Aztecs were skilled warriors, and of course, during their conquest, they would collect prisoners, gold, resources, and food. But they also had a strong homeland economy. Markets, especially in Tenochtitlan, which held 50,000 people on a good day, were very popular. People could sell their goods, food, clothes, and other resources. They had established a very healthy buyer-supplier system. Trade was also a large part of the economy. Local trade, as I mentioned, was essential to the people. They bought goods like knives, cloth, meat, vegetables, pottery, and more. The second, more valued trade was long-distance trade. The Aztec Empire was vast, so different regions had different things to offer. Some regions specialized in tropical plants such as the cacao bean, while others grew cotton or were very good farming areas. And now, here we are. Agriculture was probably the most important factor in the Aztecs' success. 5 to 6 million people lived in the empire. So how did they feed them? There were 3 crops that formed the common Aztec meal: maize, beans, and squash. Maize, or corn, has been grown and modified for thousands of years. Maize could be ground into corn flour or tortillas. This made up almost every meal for the Aztecs. Beans were also very important. Beans are quick and easy to grow. They feed a lot of people and provide precious protein and nutrients. Beans and corn also had a mutual relationship. Corn takes the nitrogen out of the ground, while beans replace it. This is very important since the soil needs to be cared for and supplied with nitrogen regularly, as many plants use nitrogen. Squash was another popular vegetable. They were nutritious, and the leaves provided shade for the soil, keeping moisture in. The Aztecs didn't just grow these crops, though. They were in the most tropical area in the world. What did you expect? They grew tomatoes, chilies, limes, peanuts, avocados, sweet potatoes, and a lot more. Like the Native Americans, the Aztecs used a lot of things from nature in their everyday life. Maguey cactus provided paper, thatching for roofs, and more. Many crops were also medicines. Herbs were grown to treat certain ailments. The Aztecs hunted as well. In the jungle, they hunted rabbits, deer, and turkey, and a lot more. They also ate a lot of fish. To grow all these crops, the Aztecs had specialized methods. The first one is terracing. Terracing is when the walls of stone or other sturdy materials are put into hillsides, and then dirt is put inside. This made growing land for crops. The Aztecs built irrigation canals to supply these hills with water. The other method was chinampas. Chinampas are essentially man-made islands in the lake. These islands were large reed mats with posts to keep them anchored in the shallow water. The Aztecs would put dirt and rotting vegetation on top until it was soon a little island. They would then grow willow trees on each side to anchor the man-made islands down, and voila, island gardens. The Aztecs were a very technologically advanced society, but in the 15th century, Spanish invaders caused the collapse of the once mighty civilization. They weren't completely forgotten, though. In the thick jungles, their ruins were found and excavated, showing archaeologists the technology and the culture of the Aztecs. They also left their mark on the world with their advancements. Their agricultural inventions and writing and calendar systems were marvelous. The Aztecs were long from forgotten, only temporarily misplaced. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing. Until next time.